Welcome to White Coat, Black Sheep. I'm your host, Dr. Civelli. Thanks so much for joining us. We have with us Lord. I'll let you please introduce yourself.
Sure. Lord Elliot, owner of NAS Power Gym.
Which is awesome. I go there. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to just chat with you really about life and health.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with what I do, functional medicine. I know you are a gym owner. How did you arrive there?
Well, we only have 40 minutes. So, my journey started with my father, and he started in the sport of powerlifting. He was in Okinawa, Japan, because he was served in the Marine Corps. And he came home one day. He's like, hey, I started training for this thing, and I'm 12 years old. So he's like, you're coming to the gym with me.
Wow.
And so being at 12, my dad's a superhero to me. He's like G.I. Joe, Marine, and puts me on the exercise machines. I'm like, well, what else can I do? How much
Good
can I
question.
do?
At 12, what structurally and size-wise were we working with? Were you small for your age, or how did you range?
I was teased 4x4, 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide.
Sorry for that loud clap, guys. That's funny. Okay.
So she laughed at my 4x4. So thanks. I was in wrestling. I played football, but because I'm short, I was the shortest in my class. Sports did not go so well for me. All my friends were taller. They're faster. They're very, because of their height, they had a lot of momentum behind their weight, and I just didn't perform as well as they did.
Structurally different.
Very structurally different. And so strength training was something I was really good at. So, 13 years old now, he comes home from Okinawa. He's done with his tour, and he signs me up at a gym, Family Fitness then. And the only way he could sign me up is by lying about my age.
Oh, my gosh.
So I was 13 years old as a member, where the minimum age was 14. So he lied about my age, and he started training me. Well, that's our real story started then, my relationship with my father, because when you're in the Marine Corps, military brat, you hardly see your father. And at 13 years old, all I wanted to do was spend all my time with this hero of mine. And we trained almost daily, as often as we could. I hung out with him in the Marines because he was a coach of the USMC powerlifting team.
Wow.
So in order for me to hang out with my dad, I had to hang out with the Marines.
Which is a really cool experience on its own.
It's an amazing experience down in El Toro Marine Corps Base, and that's when they had the Marine F-18 jets flying overhead. So it was so insane.
Yeah.
Especially as influenced as I was as a kid.
Adolescent years.
Yep.
Pivotal.
It was so important for me. Well, I training so well, my father said, hey, we're going to do a competition. So I did my very first powerlifting competition.
Wow. At 12.
Now I'm turning 14 now.
Oh, okay.
So all the disciplines and the training that my father put me through, it's time to put it on the platform. It's time to test it. How well can you perform with your disciplines under the test on the sport? And I did phenomenally well.
Oh, wow.
I broke all the state records.
Oh, my gosh.
I took home trophies, lots of trophies. And that kind of set the tone of what my expectations were that he had of me. And I was really just a sponge to listen to him because he's my hero. That's all I wanted to do was be around him. And, I got to eat some great food because when you're powerlifting, you eat so much food.
Oh, yeah. You're just burning through it.
And my favorite food, honestly, was the Frosted Flakes.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't think that you were going to go there.
I went there. Frosted Flakes, breakfast every morning. Not Wheaties.
Good, simple sugar.
Flakes. Oh, it was at least it has 10% vitamins. That's important. At least it had 10%, 6%.
Fortified.
Yeah.
So.
Got what you could
Some
get.
vitamins, yeah. Do you feel like it really shifted maybe a path that kept you out of trouble, or did you get in trouble? Like what was the teenage you like from there?
I just didn't get caught. So I was a naughty teenager.
I
Very
can't even
naughty.
picture it.
Yeah, right. Well, when you grow up without your father around so much, and you're a latchkey kid kind of thing, where you come home and your parents are working all day. Last time you see them is 7:00 in the morning when you go to school, and the next time you see them is not till 9:00 at night. So you kind of just watch yourself, and you know what you're supposed to do. You do it. So
You're so good. Yeah. So my dad was retired military. He was a Marine. And so, I would describe it as the second family, like the do-over family. I hate to describe it like that, but I think that's really the best picture of it. So I'm the oldest. My dad today is 90, and my mom is 20 years younger than him. So he was a retired pilot whenever I was in my teen years, and so he didn't have to go anywhere. So he's always home, but he was, just watching TV. He didn't really get too involved. And then my mom was, she was a nurse, but mostly she wanted to just be like a helicopter mom, like really like, I mean, I couldn't even sneeze. I feel like it was just like overly protective.
Yeah.
So I was the wild child, the one that always worried them the most, that I'm going to be nothing, nobody, just in trouble. And I gave them a run for their money in high school. Okay, so that did happen. But I feel like college, I kind of figured it out. I'm like, no, I'm going to just be academic. So that really, I think, kind of redirected me. I did sports, but not like you. I wasn't good enough, strong enough, fast enough, really, for anything competitive. I went to Christian school. So the school that I went to, I feel like the talent was like mediocre at best. We're a small group. We had fun. We laughed a lot, but are we good? Not really, but it's okay. Yeah, I did mostly soccer, and I was fast, but yeah, not fast enough to get a scholarship or do anything with that.
That's really tough, when you're looking for a future. What am I good for? What can I do? So I'm sure you were at a pivotal point in your life career of, well, what am I good at? What can I do? Am I smart enough for this? Am I physical enough for that?
I was mediocre.
So a lot in your life, you've always said it was some really quotable words like blah, blah, enough. Mm-hmm. Am I blah, blah, enough?
That's
Did you
true.
live a lot with that?
Yeah, I actually am always trying to validate myself to myself, and in all fairness, I mean, my family was tough on me. Not so much my mom and my dad, but I feel like my grandma, and it's just so weird because she wasn't overly involved, but she was just enough. So when I did see her, I'm hearing a comment about there's some critique. And like, for example, when I was like, oh, I'm going to become a doctor, she's like, oh, you think you're smart enough for that?
Enough. There's the word.
I was like, no, I really don't think that I'm smart enough. So I don't think I'm good enough for really anything, but I'm going to do it. And it doesn't mean I'm going to do it well, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I have approached really everything. Funny you found that so quick.
Yeah. The word enough is a very toxic way it's very triggering for a lot of people. That it's a hidden trigger, I should say.
It is
very much a hidden trigger. That word can be a very hidden trigger that, a lot of what prevents us from really finding success is fear. And we're always afraid. I'm
afraid to do this.
Yeah.
This scares the crap out of me.
Yeah. Look, I just got goosebumps. Look at that. Like, but, yeah. So I found that fear is if you want to dispel fear, you have to just put your one foot in front of the other and just do something, and
move towards it.
Move towards it. Just one foot one step at a time.
Just look at. Yeah, I feel like I'm just going to face it head on and just see what's on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's like the curiosity killed the cat scenario. So far, it hasn't been. Because it's like there's enough like wisdom there to what is like harmful for you.
Right.
But enough push a momentum forward to what's on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And it feels, that's such a unique thing that you just already captured.
Yeah. It's really easy to see in a lot of people. Well, when you know the end game of what people don't do, you find out why they didn't do it.
I just couldn't accept
fear.
me to be that story.
Yeah.
There were so many moments where you could quit, right? Like if you look at your life and you're like, if I would have just stopped right here, that's just where you almost make it. That's where so many people do stop, and it would have been understandable to stop. Do you have anything, I guess, in your professional world that would really kind of capture that?
Every day. It's every day. So I had a conversation with a friend this morning who's also in the gym business. And I was explaining to him, the success, for me to continue the success after 11 years of being a gym owner gets less and less and less. And he's like, well, you've been in a long time, so wouldn't you think that the percentage of success is higher? I said, no, because if you look at Walmart and Target, those are massive retail stores. You look at Mervyn's, you look at Sears, all these retail stores that went under. So who's left? Well, that's the 1%ers. So the reality of being successful after a certain amount of years, the study shows after 10 years, you're less than 4% successful. Well, you're the 4%.
Oh
you're the
gosh.
4%. And owning a gym is not, it's a very high risk business, very high risk, just like a restaurant. Restaurants is the highest risk business.
Yeah.
And the customers that you bring and what kind of product do you have to keep the customers coming? And that's very hard for restaurants because there's always another restaurant that opens up or they rebrand their name and it becomes about branding and what's the vibe, what's the energy. And then you're missing the true heart of it.
I get it, yeah.
And so with NAS Power, it's the heart of it. Like I put my heart in it, and I like to believe that what I have to offer, what my coaches teach, what the members get to learn, the performance, the results that they learn and they get, and we're a community. So when it comes to businesses, what kind of community can you create? Well, you look at Walmart, you look at Sam's Club, look at the community that they've created. There's people that love working there because it's a great community for them. Some people gripe. Well, what members and families gripe all the time, and then you just have those leaders, those chargers. Well, all right, that's what I want to focus on is the lead and the charge and the positivity. And if you look too far down the road and you get scared by that and you're not looking at what's in front of you, you're going to end up walking away.
Mm-hmm.
Am I afraid of failing? Every day. But what can I do today to prevent myself from failing? Yeah. Well, let me go say hi to somebody. I'll start there. I'll put my hand out, shake, and meet them.
You really feel it. And so I met you, I would say several weeks or so after I had already joined the gym. And exactly as you just described is how I experienced your gym. Everybody says hi. It's a full community. And that's exactly why I joined. And I'm a gym hopper. I will day pass every single time. I don't care if it's more expensive. I will hop to different gyms so I don't have to commit. And so, but after my first experience, I was like, this feels like a place that I want to go, that I will go, that I'm not just going to pay and not go. I want to show up here. And I like your whole team. It's different. It's different. And really, I didn't even know the name of it for a while because I was just like, I just love my gym.
Yeah.
And then anytime I talk to people, they're like, oh, well, where do you go? I was like, I had to describe its location because I was like, I really don't even know the name because it's not overly like logoed and, it's not,
right.
You don't lead with that, with branding. It's the feeling that you get whenever you go and you leave. So, and just how easy it is to, be yourself. And like, if we film, like everyone's just so like comfortable with it. And we get to bring other people along into our journey where we're trying really hard too. We're struggling with the same thing other people are struggling with. Yeah. And it's like, you get to see me not quit, even though I want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very well done.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And it feels like you, exactly as you just described it. So, I mean, you're the secret sauce. The people matter.
The people matter. And, you can have a great entree, but what kind of sauce do you put on it?
Yeah. It can ruin it.
It can ruin it or can make it phenomenal.
Amazing. Yeah. So, if we're talking food.
Well, I could talk about food. I was a cook in the Army for 6 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so before I came back, I taught elementary school for a couple months.
Was that stressful?
You know what?
That looks really hard.
It's speechless to me because it was an absolute amazing experience. I taught 4 years at Santa Barbara College.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And exercise science and business. So I thought, if I take this position, how will it go?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? I've never done it. So let's just go for it. My son is 8 years old when I did it. And I'm like, how bad can it be?
I say that. Oh,
how bad can it be?
How bad was it?
It was phenomenal. I thought it was such a great experience. Sure, there's some heartfelt moments I had. I come home crying to my wife because learning about kids are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the parents are not.
Yeah.
To be raw.
That's exactly why I did not go into pediatrics. I'm family medicine originally, so I could definitely see kids, but it's the parents that I really. It's not like there's anything negative, but like there's just enough moments where they're, I don't know, just a little bit too aggressive, and I was like, I just don't know that I could do this every day and still be me and still feel like I'm doing my purpose in life.
And
might be irritated.
I can totally understand that, especially when, I see them healthy and you get to see them sick. So I get to see the progression. I can't imagine what's like for you that you don't get to see the end game of them healing and living.
Right.
Where I can see them living, but I also see the hardships of their life.
Yes. How they must show up sometimes like not clean or whatever. It's like, yeah, I know. I can't even imagine.
That was the hard part. The experience I had working with teachers now sitting on this side of the table gave me a completely different perspective of what these teachers go through. And I got to say, teachers out there, you guys are amazing. Absolutely. You guys are angels and you guys have a special place in this world. That's just, wow. Heaven has to have a special place for what you guys have to go through.
It looks hard.
They have such a special heart and love and tenderness that I learned a lot from. My supervisor that was pretty much over me, watched over me, and I had to sit with her and talk to her about my emotions, because how do you manage the emotions of dealing with the hardships of what kids go through?
I know that exact discussion in healthcare. We have to get training on exactly that. And it's a term really described as porous. Like if you have pores or like a mesh and your feelings can like go through it. Like if you're running water, so you can't be so porous so that you bear that burden. How is it described to you whenever you were having that conversation?
Pretty much. I mean, she was a counselor, so she was always open to listen. But I gotta say that the hardest thing I had to do was not just step in like my military ways of dress right, dress, and you actually had to learn to listen to the kids. You had to actually learn how to be compassionate to the kids. And I often found myself taking a deep breath and just opening my ears and my heart. And that was very vulnerable for me.
It is, right?
Very vulnerable moment for me. It was also a very learning lesson for me. Like, wow, I'm capable of learning, emotionally learning. And when I would talked to her about it, she's like, you're following the steps.
Mm-hmm.
You logically understand how to listen and how to be compassionate. And I would just say, give me some more guidance, because this is coming at me so fast. I have no idea how to slow this down, speed it up, pause.
It's weird. It's almost like one of your gifts in life to be able to see people that are hurting, to be able to recognize something is not okay, and to have a burden on your heart to like do something. Not everybody will feel that or experience it. It's something that you are essentially gifted with. Because you could put somebody your same age and everything, your same background, right into that same scenario, and they'd be like, yeah, I saw the kids today. And they feel nothing about it. And
Right.
I'm like, but then, and I feel that way in the elderly communities that I take care of. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm taking care of all the grandmas and grandpas, 65 plus, and it is really sad. I've learned how to deal with it, but for a long time, I would go home and just cry by myself because I'm like, this is horrible. Horrible. You can't even turn yourself over. You're so vulnerable. You are the most vulnerable. And I felt such a heavy heart from that. But but then my colleagues felt nothing. They're just like, oh yeah, it's just another patient. I'm like, just another patient. Like, it just made me feel heavy, right? So I have kind of moved in that direction for, I guess, a chance to be different and to help people that I see as vulnerable that can't help themselves, that nobody cares. No one's fighting me to see the elderly, and it's like, it's a very interesting experience. And I realize it is a gift in a sense. That's my burden on my heart.
It is something to be humane about humanity.
Yeah.
To feel feelings towards humanity.
Yeah. There's a lot of blood and guts and violence on the shows even that I watch. Everyone's getting like, some sort of violent something happening, and I watch all the shows.
And they have to shut down.
Yeah.
They have to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
And when you shut down and compartmentalize, you almost seem like you're not human.
Mm-hmm.
And so even for me to, like I say, I learned about emotions, even at probably just a couple of years ago, I've learned to open up quite a bit more about my own personal emotions, validate myself.
Was there something that kind of shifted you into that, or it's just like emotional maturity, like over time sort of scenario?
Yeah, being vulnerable. Well, when you grow up, without your parents' supervision all the time, and you kind of just go through life and you see how your parents are, and then you kind of adopt that way, and you don't know how to self-soothe, you don't know how to cope, you don't know how to understand feelings, so you really just become avoidant.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this thing where I was very avoidant attachment style.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar with all that?
I am. But yeah, like you just don't talk about it.
You just don't talk about it.
And then it's somehow supposed to go away, but it doesn't. It comes back later, I feel like, in your relationships. And
exactly what's happened. Yeah. And so I learned about that. I learned about that with myself, and going through, exercises after exercise, and you realize what vulnerability means.
Mm-hmm.
And it really just allows you to be a better human when you can just be vulnerable.
Strength rather than, a lot of people would call that a weakness, but really it's a strength to me, mm-hmm. to actually let your guard down, mm-hmm. because that is hard. That is so hard in relationships, professionally, like to connect with people, you have to.
Right.
Otherwise you're a wolf in sheep's clothing. You're a fraud.
Fake. Yeah. You're fake.
Yeah.
You're
I don't like it. Yeah. I want nothing, mm-hmm. to do with that.
Yep.
I'd rather be vulnerable. And I saw this thing. It was like the fastest way to sift through the people who are not for you is to just be yourself, because you're going to naturally just drive them away. If they're not for you, let them.
And I was just about to say something like that, because when you are more vulnerable, you are empowered. And that empowerment allows you to attract mm-hmm. people of, a better vibe around you.
Yeah, the right people that
Right
are
people.
more like-minded and aligned.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And
Yeah.
I had to learn that. I wish I would have learned it faster, but
And then even for
okay.
those who aren't like-minded, even for those who are searching for, inspiration, you create that inspiration also for others, and
That's
that you
true.
can move and inspire them. And that, to me, in my business, that's very important, is that I'm able to acknowledge them and inspire them and just hit a little something that makes them feel a light
I
that
like
they
that.
can kind of go towards.
Yeah.
And, we're all searching for something. We all need help in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And if my tools that I have can do that for someone else, well, how am I being as a person to open a bigger, wider gate for more people that I can help, I can be there for?
I feel the same.
So,
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that I'm like actively looking for it, but it does mean that I'm not going to shut it down. Like if I see that somebody feels like inspired that they wouldn't otherwise arrive to that level of like inspiration, like medicine, right? Or for you, health and fitness. So, I mean, I find that brings me joy just to sort of nurture that as well. So, yeah, I don't know. There's so many different directions that you could enhance that or feed that, but like taking on students, that's one way I could do it. Or, this podcast, right? Like I want people to be able to treat themselves. Or that device that I spoke to you about, which there was like a hidden $10,000. And I was just like shocked that hidden part, like was like, why didn't we start there? Like, so, but the device is awesome. I think we're going to give it a little bit of time to really let other people pay that. And then I can get a better price on it. But
yeah.
it's teaching people you don't need the tools that you thought that you did to be healthy. Right. You don't need, anything fancy or crazy. You could keep it simple. Like right. Nutrition shouldn't be that complicated. And
it's not.
It's not. So I want it to be achievable, doable. Like you can get inspired by something small. You can pass that on, teach others, but you can change your life.
Yeah.
You can change, override your genes. I know we've spoken a little bit about your personal health and, I have a similar, I would say, genetics. I'm predisposed to diabetes and, there's things that if I can change it for you and I can change it for me, then you can do that for yourself and somebody else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if there's anything health-wise that was a major that you would like to share. But
sure. Yeah, I'm diabetic. I'm type 2 diabetic. And through my life, I was obese as a child. And then I played football and I lost 50 pounds in 5th grade.
Oh, my God.
That's a lot of weight for a 5th grader, right? And I started playing football, started wrestling. So I got a better care and handle on my health, but I didn't have the knowledge. I just you eat less, you work out more, lean cuisine, equal on some grapefruit.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I did it. I just did what my parents told me. And so once I started lifting weights, well, protein shakes are coming in, more like chalk protein. It was terrible. The Joe Weider. Oh man, that was a terrible product. But I did it. You just kind of choke it down. Yep. And that's what you thought it was. So through my junior years, all the way up until I left into the Army, I was a power lifter and I loved every bit of it. I had phenomenal success.
And that helped you in your health too, right? Like it was like a healthy version or?
Well, it's funny that you say that because it was a very toxic situation.
Oh, I wanted it to be the other. It could be both.
We all learn differently, right? And in our time frame.
Yep.
We're both in our 40s. Or is that what everybody knows?
I'm 42.
Everyone knows that? Okay.
I will never lie about my age. I'm fine with it.
So every 5 years we learn something about ourselves and how to change things. So even coming out of my teens, because I'm a power lifter, and the whole energy and vibe about powerlifting, you can eat a whole lot of food, but we train really hard, really strong.
Yeah.
And you don't do any cardio. That was the vibe back then. And so, it's kind of like how collegiate athletes, through my time, I've heard collegiate athletes have they build a very terrible relationship with food. They starve themselves trying to be the elitist athletes. The coaches, the way they abuse their athletes, and this is what you have to do. I've heard of things, you can't have ketchup after 9. You can't have ketchup at all. You can't have. It's just very abusive. There's so many things that I'm sure a lot of listeners, if they were athletes in college or even in high school, cheerleaders, having very bad eating disorders. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, very bad relationship with food.
Yeah.
Well, I've met a lot of athletes that came out with a very bad relationship with food. And my relationship with food was my soothing, to my emotions. With the emotions I didn't understand or I didn't know I had, I didn't realize how food was my soother.
And it gave you dopamine. Like you felt some relief of some sort when you had, whatever was the comfort food.
All of it. Twinkies was anything sweet, anything salt, pizza. It would be the whole pizza.
Yep.
So through my time, I realized, oh, wow, my health is getting really bad because I'm eating bad. I'm not really performing really good, but, I'm a power lifter. Life gets you. You have a kid, and then life gets you. You have career changes, your job, your opportunities, and you just get so out of focus from your own personal health that drives everything else. You lose connection with that.
And that was probably, I'm guessing, like a whole decade, right? I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, almost. Well, yeah, probably 1.5 decades, a good 15 years.
And you don't see it because you're in it. But to zoom out from here, it's like, that's a lot of harm that can happen, which I believe is reversible. So
far it is. In my journey, in 1 year, it's been completely, instead of going one direction, it's gone the other direction.
Because you caught it.
I got tired of, I was finally diagnosed. My body broke one day. I lost 30 pounds. My skin turned completely gray. I had this, my wife would say, you have this chemical smell. And I started shaking, just going to total shakes. And I could barely walk because I was just shaking. Took me to the doctors. Oh, yeah, you're diabetic. Your blood sugars are 496. And I'm like, wow, is that bad? And they're like, yeah, you should have a stroke right now. And so immediate medication, immediate this, stop doing that. So I got into that vibe of exercising, but my body just felt sluggish, like it's just vomiting. It's just
that's a diabetic myopathy. That's actual breakdown of the muscles. And
it was it was a terrible, terrible feeling. And fast forward 3 years. A year ago, January, as of January 28th, so in 8 more days, I said, I am going to, can I cuss on this thing?
Absolutely.
I'm going to kick its ass. I'm going to kick diabetes in the ass. I'm going to beat it. So since then, I have lost 30 pounds.
Oh, good job.
So since January 28th, I just did a powerlifting event, a couple of days ago that you weren't there for. Anyways.
Shame.
So, my strength went through the roof. My inflammation in my shoulders, my hips, and my knees have reduced significantly, so I can train.
I love that you mentioned that, because with diabetes and really with your blood glucose that goes high and then low, if you had a more stable high and low, that is already better than these wild bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
That gives you inflammation. It triggers cortisol, this whole cascade.
And it's atrocious. It's awful. It was an awful feeling to experience. But I was consistently, so I got my blood work done. I was 8.4 on my A1C. I was higher than that. I was in the 9s.
That means your average glucose was 300 to 400s.
Yeah. Yep. And I was able to get it down to the 180s consistently. And I looked at my diary. I'm like, wow, I can't imagine, And then probably by November, so from January to November, my blood glucose was anywhere between 104, 98 to 110, 120. So staying in in that area. And my A1C was 5.9.
Good job.
So my last blood work I had done before coming here, my A1C is 5.6.
Way to go.
And my glucose is 88.
So he has, I'm going to say he, because I'm just going to talk about you like you're not here right this moment.
Okay.
But, you have reduced your risk tremendously. So if you're at 5.7 to 6.4 A1C, you have a 5-year prediction of converting to diabetes. But if you've already converted and then you have a diet controlled or at least controlled diabetes, and so now you're 5.7 to 6.4 with a diagnosis of diabetes, you're still at a higher risk, like 5-fold of microvascular, like blood vessel issues, blindness, losing a leg, kidney issues, all of these things. So you being at 5.6 or lower, you keep it there, you have the same risk as me. So you have it's like an all or none effect. So I am just applauding you quietly so I don't hurt everyone's ears, but that's just like, that's so good. You've changed your life. I mean, you've changed your genetics. You can override it. You did it.
And in that time, in that 1 year span, I've been able to reduce my ortovastatin.
Okay.
So one thing I wanted to get off of was ortovastatin because that's not good for someone who's trying to build strength and muscle. But I was able to reduce it, and so much to where it went from 80 milligrams to 40 to 20. And my doctor's like, wow, you're really kicking butt here. 20. And then he said, just take the 20s, crack them in half to 10. And when you're done with that, let's get off of it. Because I was consistent enough showing normal.
Yep.
He's like, let's get off of it, get your body to learn how to function on its own. Because you're not taking in the poison anymore and you're treating your body like a machine, let's get your body trained because the medication's not training your body how to do it normally. It's doing it for you. So he's like, let's get your body to learn again how to do it right.
And I do believe that you can teach the body, like whatever it is. I mean, the principle that he's talking about is very functional medicine. Your body already knows how. But a lot of times you go so long with the lifestyle, the body forgets how because you're not needing performance in that area. So anyway, I love that was mentioned.
Yeah.
You can regain function. You can teach your body, okay, you weren't active, but now I am. So, show up, give me the energy.
Yeah. So okay, body, I'm giving you the chance. I'm giving you the platform to heal.
Exactly.
And perform. And that's what we're just going to do.
Yeah.
So it's just going to take time. But you gotta give it the platform.
Yeah, definitely. And even as like mentally, so your brain, if you think of it as nervous system, which is structures connected also to the muscle that you are working out. So you are telling your muscle to put more mitochondria here. Give me more products to build up more energy producing cells here. And so that's what you're doing. And it's incredible.
Yeah.
And you did it, and other people can too. You just have to really put your mind to it. That's where you start chemically, and then you do the call to action, and then you do the action.
It's simple, right?
Yeah.
It really is simple.
It is.
Like how food should be simple. And food, it really is simple.
It is.
It's just we complicate it.
We make it weird.
Yeah, because we think time is so important, but then you just don't realize how much time you're really wasting.
That's why we had the band. Oh, I'm getting a 5 minutes warning. So that's why we had those I think they're called booty bands, but you can travel with those. There's no excuse. I try to give myself excuses and I'm like, no, because you can do anything. Even if you're just at your desk and you don't even have a band, you can do squats or push-ups.
Yep.
That is cardiovascular health. That's, moving your muscles. That is bone health. You're loading the muscle. I mean, there's so much.
There's so much. And a lot of people don't realize, when they think about strength training, oh, I'm going to turn into a She-Hulk. No, you're not. You're actually just teaching your muscles to work.
Yeah.
Because that's the fat burner right there.
Yep.
That's your sugar burner right there.
Yeah.
So, if you just train your muscles. Just because you train, strength is not a correlation to size.
It's not.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
It's hard. It hurts the brain to understand that. Even like okay, so fun example. I went to Greece, and in Santorini, there's this mountain that has all of these winding steps. There's like the smallest little cute donkeys, and they are carrying the biggest Americans on their backs all the way up all of these steps. And I felt so bad for them. But then I Googled and like learned how much stronger the smallest little donkey is next to the biggest horse. And I was just like, okay, I mean, I feel like a little less bad for them, but still, you can be small and mighty.
And you could be big and mighty, like an elephant, or a camel.
That's so true.
But strength and size do not correlate together.
They do not.
And that's what a lot of women who are fear prevents them from strength training.
Right.
Exercising the sugar furnace, exercising the body fat furnace. That's the biggest motor that I wish a lot more women can understand.
I hear you.
Walking is not the key. Strength training.
That's cardiovascular. Like, it's good for your heart, but then there's other parts of you that need you to show up. So strength training, and like you're saying, really when you're thinking about strength, it's like, how long is the muscle fiber? How many muscle fibers do you have? How many of those are activated? Because you could have a large muscle bundle and then you're not able to activate those.
Right.
So there's no stretch on that muscle. There's no firing on that muscle.
And then we got to think about balance of the joints.
Yeah.
So if all the muscles cross over the joints, if you don't move that muscle, you're not keeping those joints healthy.
Yep.
And thus, when you get older, you start feeling aches and pains and you start shuffling your feet because you did not exercise. I tell people all the time, yoga, Pilates, phenomenal strength training. That is strength training.
Yeah. Or even just like a little micro jump, like just tiny jumps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like jump rope.
Yeah.
Or just jump without a rope.
Yeah. Yeah.
That compression can be 2 to 3 times your body weight. So if you weigh 125 pounds, we're talking 375 pounds of force placed on your body, that you're lifting 375 pounds.
Yep.
And people don't really understand how important that is.
Yeah.
Like lymphatic drainage when you're on a trampoline. Oh,
I love that you said that. Yeah. Yes.
Huge. A lot of people don't understand how huge just jumping for a minute, 1 minute.
The lymph is like such a whole, like that's its own topic. Like it's just so understated. But yeah, even like the shape of your face or like how you feel or if your stomach is bloated, like so much is just lymph related, not gut related or other body system related. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, now we're on a roll.
I know.
I'm like ready to go.
I know. Okay, let me ask you this. So when you started to change all of your habits and you noticed like your body was responding to your lifestyle changes, food changes, at what point did you start to feel good?
Okay, so I didn't start feeling...
Because it feels like garbage at first. It does. You don't get immediate reward, especially with diabetes.
It was probably about 3 to 4 months. So January to April is when I started really coming out of my what I felt like. All right, I'm at the start gate now. I'm not fighting myself now. I'm going along with myself.
Because it's normal, just like you said, fighting myself. A lot of people will want to quit in that phase.
Right.
And in your situation, I mean, 3 to 4 months, that's a long time. But some people, it's not going to be even that short of a journey. It might be 12 months, but it will correct. Your body will fall in line. And that's the part where you're going to want to quit.
And for me, it was the expectations that I was this peak athlete at one point, and then now I'm not. So I'm fighting this sluggish, like you're trying to walk through quicksand.
So you were competing at this time?
Not yet, no.
Okay. But you were preparing to.
I was preparing to because I use competition to keep me accountable.
That
is my accountability tool. So, if I have an event coming up, I know I have to train for it. And if I need to hit a certain weight class, I know I have to stay good on my diet and I achieve it. And then I immediately get myself ready for another one to keep my accountability. So my numbers, my expectations are higher and my expectations of weight loss is lower. So then, and I also get an opportunity to break the state records.
Love it.
So, I was at that strength already that I am achieving these results.
Yep.
So competing, or even if it's a 5K run, it's just something to sign up for to keep accountability and work for something.
That accountability and that like go out and win, that's testosterone, which is so interesting. So if you're somebody who doesn't have that naturally, I would say get your testosterone and your hormones checked, number one, because that is really the drive behind it, and dopamine as well, that desire to win. So those two things, it might just be a chemical thing that you're missing. So you could, ask to have those things checked. But in your case, you pushed through it, and man, you did it.
And my testosterone increased this past year.
Oh, I love that.
So it increased 52 points.
Everything kind of just like, right, it falls into place.
Your body can heal.
Yeah.
Your body can heal.
Your body can totally heal, and we're here for it. It looks like we are out of time, but thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We'll have to do this again soon. And if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and DM, and I can get those over to you as well if there's any specific questions for a guest. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Oh, that was good.
That was fun. Thank you.
That was fun. Man, way to go.
Yeah, it worked for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And imagine like you're somebody who didn't have competitions, who is just kind of a loner introvert and has nobody like pushing them or like.
That's sad. That's hard.
That's
especially when